Oh, that's a lot of the wind you're going to take if you're getting this thing up to 100 on the highway. Alright everybody, what is up? As always, thanks for stopping by to another video today. We are in the process of finishing up the road trip that you guys saw in my last video if you tuned in. And in the process of finishing this up, we are taking a lot of highway miles to get back to Philadelphia. And one of the biggest questions I always get about this bike is, what's it like on the highway? Can I take it on the highway? What's it going to feel like? What am I going to experience? How's the speed? How's the comfort? All that good stuff. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to gas up, and then we're going to head out back onto Interstate 80 East, headed towards Philadelphia, and I'm going to try to give you a little bit of that real-time experience of what it is like getting this bike out on the highway for a little bit of a stretch. So just want to talk a little bit about the comfort, kind of the performance of the engine, the miles per hour, RPMs, all the good stuff like that, where you're going to feel a little bit about the wind as well. I know that's one of the big questions that always comes up. But as always, before we get started with this one, guys, and get out on the highway, let me know some of your thoughts and opinions of what you experience if you ride this bike or any other similar bikes, Softail, Sportster, stuff like that on the highway. Drop it down in the comments. Let me know a little bit about your experience and some of your thoughts and opinions on taking this bike out on the highway. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you even do it? That's what kind of prompted a little bit of this conversation, is some people tell me that, oh, you can't take the Street Bob out on the highway, I keep it on the back roads, this and that. But I'm telling you guys, you can take this thing anywhere, and we're gonna get that first-hand look at this bike on the highway here coming up. We're gonna gas up, and then we're gonna get back out there on the highway. Alrighty guys, so we are gonna merge onto the highway up here, and hopefully I don't lose my camera equipment here. Hopefully this thing stays on the helmet. I usually don't record up on the highway or at highway speeds. So we will hopefully make sure that the GoPro and the mount stays mounted up to the helmet as we get out here on the highway. Alrighty guys, so we're going to merge right into the highway here. So right off the bat, really good just merging up into highway speed. So I went right in from 4th up to 5th gear. We're just going to start to take a look at some of the RPMs and some of what we're feeling here at the highway cruising speed. So started off, we're right about 70 miles an hour. So let's float around 70 for a little while. Most of the highways in Pennsylvania, speed limit is 70. So 5th gear, 70, 72, about 3,100 RPMs. Pretty comfortable, just taking your average wind. I've got, only got one hand on the bars. Nothing too crazy here. And look at that, we just ran into another brother out here on his bagger. I think that was a victory, as I kind of let him pass me and go ahead there. But anyways, as you start to accelerate it up a little bit more, you're kind of experiencing the same thing. You get up to about 75, 76. You're in about 3,300 RPMs here. You're going to float it up a little bit higher. We're up around 80 now, still in 5th gear. Keep in mind, you get up around 80 RPMs, are going to get up to about 3,500. Still experiencing the same thing. I'm still fairly comfortable, guys. I'm not taking a ton of wind. I'll let it drop back down to 70 miles an hour, about 3,000 RPMs. So as you kind of float around that 70 to 80 mile an hour range, 3,000 to 3,500 RPMs, you're pretty good and comfortable. One of the things I will say is when you start to hit some of these trucks like this with the Street Bob, you're going to notice a little bit of that wind tunnel effect. Start taking a little bit of wind, shaking you back and forth. So now's when we'll get into some of that passing power, still in 5th gear, taking it up to 80. I mean, you're going to pass these trucks, vehicles and stuff. Super easy, super simple. Now to get into the rest of this video, some of these higher speeds, I don't know if this guy's going to like me passing him or not, but I think he might have to deal with it. Oh, that's a lot of the wind you're going to take if you're getting this thing up to 100 on the highway. Alrighty guys, so now we're creeping up higher into your 80s, high 80s, 90s. We're looking at about 4,000 RPMs. In fifth gear, we still got my buddy here cruising back and forth with us. So as you saw back there, as you start to do a little bit of that climbing up into like the higher 80s, 85, 90, that's where your RPMs are going to start to spike up to about that 4,000 range when you're in fifth gear. You can hold it there, no problem, but you're definitely going to notice the bike engine starting to work a little bit harder, a little bit more, which is fine. It's totally good and capable up there if you like to ride those RPMs. But then, see right here, about 85, we're going to go ahead and click it up into sixth gear. Then that's when you're really going to get comfortable at some of these higher cruising speeds. 82 miles an hour at about 3,000 RPM. So, guys, I mean, that's really comfortable. This bike and engine is really going to do anything you want on the highway. Dip it down into the lower 70s. RPMs are dropping. I'd rather keep them above 3,000 here. The sixth gear right here, passing a semi, 83 miles an hour, 3,000 RPMs. Guys, super comfortable. I had one hand on the bike most of the time. Again, you're still taking some of that wind, but you still feel super planted. For me anyways, I don't really start to get like a little weird and uncomfortable with the wind until we get up around like 90. I'll hold it there for a little while and then usually back off a little bit. So we'll go ahead and drop it back down into fifth gear, 75 miles an hour, 3,200 RPMs. One of these Clearfield exits right here is what we're going to take actually, so we're not going to be on the highway much longer. Alright, so let's do a little more acceleration here. 75 miles, we're going to pass this truck. 80, 90, fifth gear, 95, over 4,000 RPMs. Hit that sixth gear, and then 93 at 3,300 RPMs. So, again, we're going about 90, 80, high 80s, 90s, low 90s. So, on a non-windy day, guys, you're going to be comfortable on this bike doing whatever you want. So, I hear a lot of people say, oh, I use it for the back roads, I use it for, oh, this or that. The bike is going to fly on the highway. I mean, it's a Milwaukee 8. Everybody knows the power of the Milwaukee 8. I think some of the limitation just kind of becomes, you know, how much wind are you willing to take? How long are you willing to stay in this riding position right here? For me, I'm pretty used to it. A lot of that stuff just doesn't really bother me. Look, we're just passing trucks. Super easy, taking some wind, but you just got to be a little bit prepared for. So again, 86 miles an hour, 3,600 RPMs, one hand on the bars. Guys, we could do this all day, just sitting right here, cruising speed 85 miles an hour, planted to the highway, 37 RPMs, flick it into sixth gear, drop those RPMs down, you get a little bit more even comfortable there. You're going to notice the engine not working quite as hard in that sixth gear overdrive, which is really super nice. And honestly, I don't even use sixth gear that much. A lot of times I'll keep it in fifth. If I'm really getting out there on some straight stretches with like not a lot of traffic and stuff, that's where I will go ahead and pop it into sixth gear. So really happy with the way the Milwaukee 8 and the Street Bob performs out on the highway. Again, really just limitations of wind and gas mileage too. Again, as we're getting closer and closer to where we're going to take an exit here, you know, look at this. I mean, super simple, easy, 86, 87, 3,200 RPMs in sixth gear. Sixth gear is absolute dream. This thing really smooths out, levels out. One of the things, though, that you notice is kind of a vibration through these stock handlebars. That's one of the things I've complained a little bit about in the past. It might be like a bushing issue I got to replace in there, but hands go a little numb after a while. But again, what I find between 70 and 80 miles an hour, a lot of times, I don't know how much faster you really need to go than that consistently. So sixth gear, 83 miles an hour, 3,000 RPMs, super comfortable, just taking some normal wind, no buffeting or anything like that. You're going to get anywhere you want to go at 80 miles an hour. And you're going to have really just a comfortable engine working underneath of you. Set yourself up with a fairing, a decent seat. You're going to be able to really maximize this bike if you're looking to get out on the highway. Don't let anybody out there tell you you can't take this bike on the highway. I could hold this pace and this speed all day if I had to. So we'll keep it dropped down into fifth gear here for a little bit as we're just kind of cruising with my buddy up here that I just randomly ran into out here on the highway. We're going to get off the highway here in just a minute. Our exit for Clearfield, Pennsylvania is coming up shortly, so we will check back in with you then to wrap this one up. Alrighty guys, so we just got off the highway and my buddy that I ran into is still up here with us, so took the same exit. But anyways, yeah, just got off the highway there. Just want to give you guys a little look and insight into the Street Bob 114 on the highway. Again, you know, there's some limitations there as far as like wind and comfort and some stuff like that, but I mean, if you're willing to put up with that stuff and that stuff doesn't really bother you like me, you're really going to be able to take this bike anywhere, a highway, any rate of speed, anything you want to do. That stretch right there was actually finishing up about like 130 miles or so of just straight highway. So now we're getting off. We're going to take 322 east, which is a little bit more back road-ish, back towards Philadelphia to the PA Turnpike. But like I said, you know, the comfort is there. The comfort, the ease of the engine is going to allow you to do really anything you want on the highway with this bike. Super comfortable and easy with interstate highway speeds of like 70 to 80. Crank that thing up to 80 to 90 to pass, put it in 6th gear, run 85, 95, 100. 100 does start to get pretty windy. Not gonna lie, 100 gets a little more uncomfortable there with all the wind and stuff, but you're still planted, you're still feeling good in my opinion. So like I said at the beginning, drop it down there in the comments. Let me know some of your experiences and thoughts and opinions on the Street Bob Softail or any other similar bikes really out there on the highway, getting up to some of those faster cruising speeds. I'll be curious to hear what you guys have to say about how you feel about the comfort. Are you hanging on for dear life? Is it easier than you expected on some of this stuff? Remember, drop it down there in the comments and let me know. We're going to finish up this ride on 322 East, one of my favorite roads through PA right there, back to the Philadelphia area. So that's gonna wrap it up for now, guys. As always, if you like anything we got going on here, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video, drop a comment down there, and of course we will catch you on the next one. Make it a good one, guys. Ride safe out there. It's the Moto Jawn. We'll see you all on down the road. Peace.